Hello and welcome to Lumphini Gardens. So this map has a lot of greenery. There's some building work going on this right hand side. So you've got some containers and you've got some porter cabins. There's a construction yard which has got a few diggers moving earth around. And then down the centre you have a raised railway which is currently blocked off, but it's got a few trains on it. And it leads down to a railway station which has a little ticket booth and a couple of kiosks and two staircases which lead up to the raised platform. On the other side of the gardens everything's serene and tranquil, lots of greenery and trees, the meandering canals, there's a cafe and there's some little buildings where you can spend a relaxing afternoon. And outside the walls there's another cafe with a rooftop terrace which is very familiar. But this is Lumphini Gardens. But this is Lumphini Gardens with nobody on it. This is an empty server, which is why everything looks pristine and nice. The water flows into the canals through two sets of sluice gates. There's a set here at A, and just further down the canal there's another set called B, and these sluice gates pour water from a tower at the top into the canals. The canals themselves meander around the park, there are a few bridges over the top, and there are a couple of jet skis dotted around so you can whiz around these canals to your heart's content. There are quite a few of these pagoda-ish buildings dotted around the edges of the canals, and we've got plenty of these bridges. But you can swim across these canals should you really have to. And you can get to pretty much anywhere on this side of the map by the water. And the water also leads to some parts on the other side of the map, but not all. Let's take another look at those two pumping stations. So they've both got switches which you can activate, and when you do, the water shuts off from those sluices. And that is not a good thing, because the pressure starts to build up and eventually water starts to spray out of those pipes. So as the pressure builds, it moves further and further up the hill until eventually the tower at the top springs a leak, and then it all goes disastrously wrong. It's not long before that tower can't take the pressure anymore and ruptures, cascading down the hillside with a torrent of water which soon turns into a torrent of mud. It breaks through the walls, it flattens everything on that side of the map, it bursts over the railway, knocking out the trains and creating one large muddy mess. And that's the large Levolution element on this map. But there are a couple of smaller Levolution elements as well. Inside this train you can see there's a command box, very similar to the ones you get on Goldmud Railway. And on the tracks there's an improvised explosive device. Not long after pressing that button there's a chain of explosions and the whole section of the raised railway falls into the dirt. So you can no longer get all the way across the map on the railway. And there are in fact two of these improvised explosive devices and a couple of control boxes, so further down you can break that part of the bridge apart as well. So now we've cut off the centre section of the railway, we've buried half of the park in mud, destroying a load of the cover and leaving this section much more open. Although it doesn't affect the construction site, you can see that the mud has swept across onto this side of the park as well, bringing the trains down, burying one of the flags. And although the mud comes right up to the railway station, it doesn't actually affect the railway station very much. But the Levolution elements change the middle and the right hand side of this map a great deal. Lumphini Gardens is a good, well balanced map with a bunch of different combat areas that all have a slightly different feel. There are some raised elevations, but there's nowhere you can't get to on foot or by climbing. The Levolution's impressive and changes the way that certain parts of the map work. So I hope this video gives you an idea of what Lumphini Gardens is like and how the Levolution works. Thanks for watching.